Okay. Okay, here we go. We'll do a different song. The year is 1975, the 18th day of December. And as a storm rages over Dublin City at a maternity hospital, a child enters the world. Born to the O'Doherty family, they named the boy David, after the biblical ass kicker. Look at his hands, says his father as he sees him for the first time. Look at his hands, like he was born to hold a golf club. One day, my son will be the greatest golfer who has ever lived. Fast forward 12 days to the 30th day of December 1975, and at the Alhambra Medical Center in Southern California, another child enters the world. This time, born to the Woods family, Earl and Cultida. They named the child Tiger, but he soon gets the nickname Tiger. Look at his hands, says his father as he sees him for the first time. Look at his hands, like he was born to hold a microphone. One day, my son will be the greatest stand-up comedian who has ever lived. Fast forward 10 years, and Mr. O'Doherty's becoming increasingly frustrated at his son's lack of progress. He doesn't seem interested in spending hours hitting shitty golf balls into the crappy jam jar he's put in the middle of their third box back garden. No, and he's dismayed how the boy seems to enjoy much more making quips and wisecracks about the game. Look, Dad, a sand wedge. Can we have lunch now, please? Meanwhile, in Southern California, Mr. Woods is becoming increasingly frustrated at Tiger's lack of progress too. He doesn't seem interested in working on a stand-up comedy routine or spending hours entering young comedy talent competitions. And at the competitions he does enter, the judges all notice how weirdly, midway through his routine, Tiger likes to grab the microphone stand with two hands, straighten it up, grip it at the top with an overlapping grip, and swing it around his head in a perfect elliptical arc. Fast forward to March 1997, and Mr. O'Doherty is heartbroken when his son announces his intention to become a professional stand-up comedian. Mr. Woods is heartbroken too when midway through a 3-night engagement at Atlanta's Laughter Bungalow, Tiger absconds and runs off to win that year's US Masters by a record 12 shots in what is generally considered to be the finest single display of golf ever. Fast forward to today, and look at us. Tiger Woods is the greatest golfer of his generation, probably the greatest golfer of any generation, maybe the greatest single sportsman ever. And me, I'm David O'Doherty.
Well, my dad was a piano player, or is a piano player. So his thing was he would never teach any of us how to play the piano. Nice. Like, it was always we had to ask, and then he'd show us some stuff. And because, I mean, he finished his formal training when he was 3, which is all the sort of sight reading and all that he's ever done, which just never interested him. Like, he would he'd put on a record and just go, right, just figure this out. So he wasn't, from one point of view, because he's such a natural, it was good, because you get this idea that learning piano isn't just about quavers and crotchets. Yeah. It's like, it's about sound. But on the other hand, he's such a natural. It was just like, he'd go, well, can you not hear? It's the same as this, and that's quite like that ABBA song. So I took some lessons off him for a while and just figured the rest out myself. Fantastic. Really, I'm still a terrible piano player, though.
We beg to differ. Sorry.
You guys are easily impressed.
Yeah. But I like the way you combine your comedy and your music also, because you're a comedian.
Yeah, right? I wanted to become a piano player for a long time. Okay. Well, not for a long time. For when I was about 18 or 19, and then I wanted to become a jazz piano player. But then there's this sort of understanding among the jazz guys that there's naturals, and then there's people who just learn all the tricks. Right. And Dad basically took me aside when I was about 20 and said, you know, you can't polish a turd, is the gist of it, which is that you know, you can keep working your balls off, but you're only going to be okay. So find something else. So no, which is very honest, and you know, I'll always be grateful for that.
Parents are always great for that, aren't they?
Yeah.
Pointing me in the right direction and going, get it together, decide one way or the other.
Yeah. So comedy was the other big thing in our family then, because everyone's a big fan. Like, we'd always, my granny lived in Achill off the west coast, so we would spend a lot of our life going backwards and forwards, so we'd always listen to like Goon Show tapes and a lot of sort of classic BBC comedy that my father was into, and that's how I got into comedy. And you know, my brother's a writer as well, so he's very into it.